Hi, everybody. I'm Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Ruckelshaus. And since I haven't been able to do my Bible studies, and I haven't forgotten I will be doing this, but I thought that for now I would introduce some prayers to you because I can do this really quickly. I'm kind of thinking I'll do it about once a week, but it'll just be kind of here and there because these days I don't have a lot of control over my time. So anyway, I thought I would start out with the St. Michael prayer. This is a prayer for protection. It's a prayer for um, battle, whether it's physical battle or spiritual battle. And it's prayed, I think, in most churches at the end of Mass. We can also pray it on our own. So I want to pray the prayer first with you, and I'll print it out below in the description box too, in case you don't have access to that. You can always get prayer cards. I have a really cool prayer card in my bathroom with this on it, and I also have a picture that's really cool of St. Michael. But here's how the prayer goes, and I'm just going to go ahead and pray it for you. St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Okay, so who is Saint Michael the Archangel, and why do we ask these things of him? So I'm have several passages of scripture that I want to read to you, but first of all, I just want to read what the church fathers said about Saint Michael the Archangel. Theorodet of Sur in the year 393 to 466, in his interpretation of the book of Daniel, he said, we're taught that each one of us is entrusted to the care of an individual angel to guard and protect us and to deliver us from the snares of evil demons. Archangels, like St. Michael, the archangel, are entrusted with the tasks of guarding nations, as the blessed Moses taught. And with those remarks, the blessed Daniel is in accord, for he himself speaks of the chief of the kingdom of the Persians. We'll be reading those scriptures in a few minutes. And a little later, the chief of the Greeks, while he calls Michael the chief of Israel. The church fathers would also posit that St. Michael stood guard at the gate of paradise after Adam and Eve had been banished, and he was the angel through whom God published the Ten Commandments, who blocked the passage of Balaam in Numbers 22, and who destroyed the army of Sennacherib in 2 Chronicles 32. So there's a lot more about him, but that just gives you an idea about him. I'm going to read some scriptures. So if my eyes look like they're going all weird, it's not because I'm demon possessed. It's because I'm reading on my screen. So in the book of Daniel, and this is chapter 10, he was praying. In fact, it says here, in the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a revelation was given to Daniel, who had been named Belteshazzar. The revelation was certain, a great war, he understood from the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, mourned for 3 weeks. I ate no savory food, took no meat or wine, and did not anoint myself at all until the end of the 3 weeks. On the 24th day of the 1st month, I was on the bank of the great river, the Tigris. As I stood up, I saw a man dressed in linen with a belt of fine gold around his waist. His body was like chrysolite, and his face shone like lightning. His eyes were like fiery torches. His arms and feet looked like burnished bronze, and the sound of his voice was like the roar of a multitude. I alone, Daniel, saw the vision, but great fear seized those who were with me. They fled and hid themselves, although they did not see the vision. So I was left alone to see this great vision. No strength remained in me. I turned the color of death and was powerless. When I heard the sound of his voice, I fell face forward until unconscious, but then a hand touched me, raising me to my hands and knees. Daniel, beloved, he said to me, and I love the way that this angel is speaking to Daniel, sorry. Um, Understand the words which I am speaking to you. Stand up, for my mission now is to you. When he said this to me, I stood up trembling. Do not fear, Daniel, he continued. From the first day you made up your mind to acquire understanding and humble yourself before God, your prayer was heard. Because of it, I started out. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia stood in my way for 21 days until finally Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me. I left him there with the prince of the kingdom of Persia and came to make you understand what shall happen to your people in the last days, for there is yet a vision concerning those days. So I won't read the rest of it. The rest of it is about the vision and everything. But here Michael the archangel came to fight against the prince or the angel of the kingdom of Persia, angel, or I guess demon probably, of the kingdom of Persia, and so that this angel could get through to comfort Daniel as he was praying and fasting, and to give him some prophecies. So that's a little bit about Michael. Then in chapter 12 of the book of Daniel, it says, "At that time there shall arise Michael, the great prince, guardian of your people." So here's where we get the idea that he was the guardian of the nation of Israel. And it goes on to say, "It shall be a time unsurpassed and distressed since the nation began until that time. At that time your people shall escape, everyone who is found written in the book of life." So the main point here in this passage is just that Michael is the great prince. He's the guardian of the people of Israel. Okay, and then in Revelation, it says a great war broke out in heaven. Michael and his archangels battled against the dragon. The dragon and its angels fought back, but they did not prevail, and there was no longer any place for them in heaven. Then we have in Ephesians, and this isn't about Michael the archangel. This is more about like spiritual battle, just so that you can understand what's going on here. It says in chapter 6, verse 10, "Finally, draw your strength from the Lord and from his mighty power. Put on the armor of God so that you may be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil. For our struggle is not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, with the powers, with the world rulers of this special darkness, with the evil spirits in the heavens." And you guys, that's why we're not supposed to pray against people. We're supposed to pray for them, but we need to pray against the evil that's happening in the heavenlies and being played out here on earth. "Therefore, put on the armor of God that you may be able to resist on the evil day, and having done everything, to hold your ground." And then he talks about the armor of God. And I'll probably talk about that another time in more depth. And then here we have the letter of Jude. So this is why in the prayer to St. Michael the Archangel, let me read it again. "St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil." Okay, so we see that in the stuff that we've already read. "May God rebuke him, we humbly pray." That's a really important thing. And you have to understand the book of Jude to get that. So here, Jude is just a really short book. You guys, I would really encourage you to read it. It's not even very long. It's only, let's see, what do we have? 25 verses long. It's just one chapter. Okay, and now I lost my place where I was. Okay, here it says, "Yet the archangel Michael, when he argued with the devil in a dispute over the body of Moses, did not venture to pronounce a reviling judgment against him, but said, 'May the Lord rebuke you.'" So that's why we say here in the prayer to St. Michael the archangel, we say, "May God rebuke him, we humbly pray." We don't ask St. Michael the archangel to rebuke the devil. We say, "God, may God rebuke him." Okay, and then we say, "O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan." So that's what happened in Revelation 12. And I don't think I read quite that far, but you can go to Revelation 12 and you can read the rest of that chapter. "And all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls." So let's just read what St. Peter wrote in 1 Peter chapter 5 about this. He says, "Be sober and vigilant. Your opponent, the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. Resist him, steadfast in faith, knowing that your fellow believers throughout the world undergo the same sufferings." Okay, so he's a prowling lion seeking whoever he can destroy. So let's read this prayer again. I want to pray it for you all, and I hope that you'll pray along with me. It's a wonderful prayer to print out and keep where you can see it and pray it daily, or sometimes even more often, whenever you need some good spiritual strengthening and especially going into any kind of spiritual battle, which is what we do every single day, whether you're aware of it or not. "St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen." All right, so I hope that helped you a little bit and inspired you to pray this really, really wonderful prayer. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.